Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to build your personal financial roadmap because a huge wave of new tax laws is headed our way for 2026. And trust me, it's going to change the game. So let's get you ready. Let's just start with the biggest question on the table. Are your finances really ready for what's coming? And it's a super important question to ask because the financial map that we've all been using, it's about to be completely redrawn.
So what's causing all this? Well, the catalyst is a hypothetical new law we're calling the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or OBBBA for short. Now, while it's not a real law, it's the perfect stand-in for the kind of sweeping, landscape-changing legislation that forces every single one of us to take a fresh look at our financial plans.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll explore this new financial map. Then we'll pinpoint which of the three financial phases you're in right now. After that, we'll walk through how to build a professional-level plan, cover a simple annual tune-up, and we'll wrap up by talking about your lasting legacy.
Okay, first up, let's get a handle on this brand new financial map. Because a law like OPBB, it definitely creates some new challenges, no doubt. But it also opens up some really fascinating new opportunities for how you can manage your money.
Let's look at who comes out ahead and who might need to adjust their strategy. For example, that SALT deduction cap. That's for state and local taxes. It's jumping to $40,000. That is a huge win for people living in high-tax states. Seniors also get a brand new $6,000 deduction. But look, it's not all good news. If you were thinking about buying an electric car, that EV tax credit is gone. The big takeaway here isn't the little details, it's that these are major shifts. They create clear winners and losers, and you need to know exactly which side you're on.
So how do all these new rules actually apply to you? Well, it really all depends on where you are in your own financial life. We're going to look at three distinct phases, because what's a brilliant strategy for one phase can be a terrible one for another.
You can basically break your financial life down into three big chunks. It all starts with the accumulation phase, usually from your mid-20s on, when you're just focused on building wealth. Then, around age 55 or so, you shift gears into the preservation phase, protecting everything you've worked so hard for. And finally, around 65, you hit the distribution phase, where you start to actually use that money you've saved. Can you see yourself on this timeline? And check this out. Each stage has its own mission and its own arch-nemesis. When you're in the accumulation phase, it's all about growth. But the thing that can really knock you off course is an unexpected job loss. In preservation, you're playing defense, trying to protect your assets. But inflation is this silent enemy just eating away at your savings. And then in distribution, the biggest fear is outliving your money, with long life and high healthcare costs being the major risks. Each phase needs a totally different playbook. So, how in the world do you build a strategy that can navigate all of these phases, especially with all these new tax laws thrown in? Well, you use the exact same structured method that certified financial pros use. Let's pull back the curtain. This right here is the official 7-step process from the Certified Financial Planner Board. It's pretty much the gold standard. But here's the secret. It's a circle, not a straight line. You understand your situation, you make a plan, you put it into action, and then, and this is the part everyone forgets, you monitor it and you update it. A financial plan should never be some dusty document you stick in a drawer. It's a living, breathing guide. Okay, I know that 7-step process might sound a little intimidating. So let's break it down into something really practical you can do every single year. Think of this as your annual financial tune-up, your first real, actionable steps. First things first, you gotta check the foundation. Are your goals from last year still your goals today? A new job, a new baby, a big move? Life changes everything. Then take an honest look at your budget. Where is your money actually going? And this one is critical. Is your emergency fund solid? You absolutely need at least 6 months of living expenses tucked away for when life throws you a curveball. Next up, let's protect your future. Are you putting as much as you possibly can into your retirement accounts? And let's talk about planning for healthcare. A health savings account, or an HSA, is one of the most powerful tools out there for this. It's basically a 401k for your medical expenses, and it has this incredible triple tax advantage. The money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and it comes out tax-free for medical bills. It's a financial superpower.
Now, before we get to the last part of our tune-up, just look at this number from Caring.com. Only 32% of Americans have a will. Just think about that for a second. That means more than 2/3 of people are completely unprepared for one of life's absolute certainties.
All right, finally, let's talk about optimizing your wealth. High-interest debt is like an anchor dragging you down, so you need a battle plan to get rid of it. Does your investment mix still feel right for you and your goals? And, of course, with a law like OBA on the books, you should absolutely 100% be talking to a professional about making sure you're paying as little in taxes as legally possible. And if you're sitting there thinking, wow, this is a lot to do, just remember this quote from a recent Merrill Lynch report. More than half of Americans don't do this stuff regularly. So by simply taking these steps, by doing this annual tune-up, you are putting yourself miles ahead of the pack. You're taking control.
Okay, now for those of you who might be in those later financial phases, the planning goes way beyond just an annual checkup. We're starting to talk about something bigger, your long-term legacy.
You're going to start hearing some pretty complex terms, like this one, a grantor retained annuity trust, or a GROT. But here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you have an asset you know is going to grow, like company stock. You put it in a special trust for a few years. The trust pays you back the original value, but all the growth, all the appreciation passes to your kids or grandkids, usually completely tax-free. It's an incredibly powerful tool for passing on wealth. And a GRAT is just the tip of the iceberg. There are all these other advanced strategies out there. But look, don't get bogged down in the alphabet soup of acronyms here. The real point isn't to memorize the names. It's to know that for almost any complex financial goal you have, there is a specialized tool out there that was designed to help you achieve it.
So, with these new laws in mind and a much better understanding of the journey ahead, your financial roadmap should be a whole lot clearer. We've looked at the new terrain, we've identified the different stages of the trip, and we've peeked inside the professional's toolkit. The map is in your hands. The only question left is, what's your next destination?